Hey everyone, it's Epris Powelson from New Harvest Apostolic Church, and I'm here on this wonderful Tuesday to do the Dig Deep devotional. I first want to start off by actually introducing what I am going to be talking about in an not normal way. I want to first ask for forgiveness, and I want to apologize for the fact that I did not do my Dig Deep devotional last Tuesday. Apologies completely. I'm human. Legitimately, there's no excuse. I lost track of time, had too much on my mind, didn't get to it. Just by the time I realized what time it was too late, and there was just nothing that I could do. So I apologize, and I pray that you would forgive me. That is what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk about forgiveness. I want to talk about the fact that not so much as forgiving others, because we always hear about how we should forgive other people and we should do those things and that's the good thing to do. It is wonderful to forgive people because you can't be forgiven if you can't forgive other people. Accurate. That is completely true. But one of the things that you also have to remember is that we need to forgive ourselves. That is huge. We all have things that are very difficult for us to forgive that we have done, that maybe we just don't think is right and that God could never forgive us for. So one of the things that on that Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday after that, I was kicking myself completely because I consider myself a very dependable person. I like to say that I'm consistently consistent and dependably dependable. It's just who I feel as if I am. And so the fact that I fell short, that I was human and I messed up, was very difficult for me. It was hard for me to forgive myself because that's not who I am. It's not normal. It's not what I do or anything like that. I'm just a consistent person, and so the fact that I fell short is very difficult. I hold myself very much to a higher standard, and so it is one of those things that's very difficult for me. But as you go through your days and you start to think about it and you understand, like, hey, I am human, I do mess up, there are things that I am gonna fall short on. And we need to learn to forgive ourselves. It may not be something as simple as forgetting a devotional. That may not be a big deal to you. You may not think it's a big deal. It was a big deal to me. But what about your shortcomings? The things that you have fallen short on? The things that maybe could be very simple and small to someone else, but they're huge to you because of the fact that they mean something to you. Anything that you feel as if, like, just forgiveness of yourself. Start working on it. It could be big, it could be small, and it's usually those bigger things that we struggle with to forgive ourselves about. We struggle with thinking that we can't be forgiven. And so when we feel as if we can't be forgiven, we start to not forgive ourselves too. We can forgive everyone around us because that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to, if we want to make it to heaven, or if we want to be a good Christian, or if we want to do this, that, and the other, and mark and tick all these little boxes and everything like that, that's one of them. We forgive other people. But what about forgiving yourself? Working towards that goal of being at peace with yourself, doing right. You know, we always want to hold ourselves to this high standard. We always want to be trying to be Christ-like and trying to do the things that are very Christian, or very just in general, broad term of Christian for sure, but living Christ-like. That's where I want to get more to it, is that we want to be more Christ-like and hold ourselves to that high standard. Well, what happens when, not if, when we fall short? Are we going to pick ourselves back up, forgive ourselves, and press forward? Are we going to forgive ourselves and move on and do better in these situations? Are we going to not get complacent in where we are? Because it can be very easy to, if we start to self-doubt and to start to not forgive ourselves, to live in that bubble of complacency of, oh, I'm just not forgiven, I'm not good enough, I'm just gonna stay here because this is where it's safe, this is where it's good. Or are you going to break out of that? Are we gonna stay down here where we're complacent and safe and happy? Or are we going to break out and forgive ourselves and work on doing better and bettering ourselves daily? Like, that is huge, huge, huge. I've talked about it before, is just continually working and getting better. We are going to fall short. I think that is something that people just don't understand, is that we strive for perfection, but that is not accurate. Like, we will not achieve perfection until Jesus decides that we are perfect in him, and that's up to him. That has nothing to do with what we can do, because we cannot reach perfection, but it is something that we can strive for. So when we sit back and we just stay in this complacent zone of, I'm just gonna do this, and I'm gonna stay here because it's safe, and I can't be forgiven, and nobody's gonna forgive me, and the church won't forgive me, and pastor won't forgive me, my friends won't forgive me, for whatever it is. I'm being so broad because it could be anything, but all sins, all things are forgiven if you just give them to God. It is 100% true. It is 100% accurate that we are forgiven because Jesus died for our sins, and we are forgiven. Cover it by the blood. That is all there is to it. It is accurate. It is 100%. And I am so glad that I got to bring this to you. I hope that you can start working on forgiving yourself, forgiving others, doing the things, and not being complacent in where you are. Let's be Christ-like. Be blessed.